Eric, let's talk a little Chucky Lozano as we look forward to what might be an opportunity for him to move in the summer. First of all, let's focus on where he's at right now. There was a lot of expectations when Chucky signed with Napoli over the summer from PSV. How would you describe his tenure so far in Serie A and with Napoli?
I feel like you're going to yell at me a lot in this segment, Sebi. I find it uncomfortable for the Mexican striker. Listen, 50 million plus, and you go from what is the Dutch league to the very, all of a sudden, difficult Serie A. It's not the same type of league that it was before. It's not your grandpa's Serie A. This is a difficult league. Yes, it's gotten better offensively, but it's still very physical, very defensive at times. Chucky Lozano, oftentimes not even playing in his own position. It's been very uncomfortable, whether it's Ancelotti or whether it's now with Gattuso. He's had a rough go at it. It's one after the other. It's him playing as a second striker instead of out in the wing. It's him not being taken into consideration because they don't value his traits. It's really been difficult and uncomfortable for the striker.
Who's to blame? You putting this on Chucky? You putting it on the owner who wants to fine and sue his players? You're going to put it on the managers, or what?
All of the above. I mean, it's very difficult to single one out because is it Ancelotti? Well, he goes. Gattuso comes in. Is it Gattuso? It's the same problem. It's who do you want to blame it? Chucky's got some blame in this too, Seb. I mean, at some point, you have to decide what is best for your future. And listen, I'm sure the prospects of playing in Napoli, in Serie A, in a big club like that. At one point, it was a very offensive team with Sarri. At one point, you said this team is a team that could play. If you're planning to play in an offensive line in there, you're going to score goals, assists, you're going to be seen worldwide. That's not the case anymore. You've seen how this team has shifted over the seasons with the different coaches. And I think Chucky himself, you either adapt or you die. And at this moment, he's not doing enough to adapt.
What about Gattuso? Okay, from a player's perspective, right? You got a manager who comes out in a press conference and says, you only ask about this guy because he costs 50 million euros, and then makes a joke about how everybody in Mexico hates him, but he's okay with that. If you're a player and you hear your manager talking about that,
it's rough. It's rough. I mean, I could only imagine what he's going through mentally. He's 24 years old. What he wants to do the most is play. And by the way, we've heard nothing from Chucky or his camp about him being unpleased or him not happy or voicing his displeasure at the situation. He's been nothing but professional. So if you're nothing but professional, you expect the same out of your manager. So it must be very difficult to hear. I'm sure oftentimes he asks himself, what do I need to do to get on the field? And when you're hearing jokes like this, well, you're making or belittling your effort. It must be very difficult to hear.
While we're trying to find somebody to point the blame at here, I'm sure you'll appreciate this as a former player. What about the agent? Here's Chucky, who gets with the super agent, Mino Raiola. Isn't that the guy who's supposed to put you in the right situation always? And yet what do we see here? Bad ownership, coaching situation that went south in a hurry, and to a league where it's not working out for him. How much do we say, hey, Mino Raiola, this was your one job to put him in a good place, and you failed?
I think you're confusing what it is to be an agent. The agent's job responsibility is to maximize the potential value of said player in said contract, which I think he's done. Now, listen, you can talk about the players that he has, Pogba and others who have been in situations that maybe aren't ideal, and you would say, yeah, you got the most money at the time, but what about the player's situation currently? He can't control what happens on the field or what doesn't happen. He's supposed to get you the most money he can wherever you think you want to go, and that's what happened. Listen, Chucky has more of the blame here than his agent. His agent did his job. Got him out of the Dutch league, got him into one of the best teams in the world, if you're being quite frank. A great situation financially. That's not on him. That's. But who knew it was going to go south like this? Did you know? You were as excited as anybody. Sebastian Salazar is the first person who bought that Napoli Chucky Lozano jersey.
It is a sweet kit. All right, let's get to the brass tacks here. Should he leave?
Man, I'd love to see him stick it out and adapt, like I said, and really thrive, because I think he's a player with unbelievable quality. But he can't stay. He has to go. If you're not getting minutes, if this manager is showing you he doesn't trust you, he doesn't believe in you, you have to go somewhere you will. It's your career. It's not theirs. You have to do what's best for you. So he's got to go. The sooner the better.
All right, let's give you some options here. Now, there's plenty of places he's been linked, but these are some of the names that I keep seeing pop up, and each one has an interesting tie. I'm going to give you 3 clubs. Everton would be a reunion with Ancelotti. Atletico Madrid, maybe he could team up with Ache there. Or Wolves, where he would maybe link up with Raul Jimenez. Of those 3, which one do you think is the best fit? Or do you have an outlier you like even more?
Well, out of those three, I think the best play would be Wolverhampton. I'd love to see him play alongside Raul Jimenez in that type of system where he can really be free and they go at you with pace and in transition. And I think Nuno Espirito Santo has them really believing in it. And it's a small enough club where the pressure and the limelight isn't directly on you, so he's being pressured every single day like he would probably at Everton or he would at Atletico Madrid. But it's a big enough club of what they're achieving at the moment and the way they're playing where I really think he'd be an asset to said team. But I like the German league. I like the Bundesliga for his style of play, for his ability, for everything he offers. And if I had my way, he'd be playing at Borussia Dortmund. But that's not up to me. I just really think he fits that type of system, that type of freedom, that type of league.
There you go. Plenty of options as we think about them now. Hopefully they will materialize in the summer. Again, so far this season in Serie A, Chucky Lozano, just 2 goals to show for his efforts.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.